heard that Jeb Bush is actually the only reason why George Bush got into office. Anybody remembers the election? I ended up not voting the way that I should have. I knew right away that it was my mistake. It didn't. I mean, my vote didn't matter for the state that I was living in at the time anyway. But one thing that I will say, and it's something that actually blows my mind, is that we don't talk about it. That he didn't allow for the recount. He didn't allow for the. I mean, that's a. And by the way, we need to remember that the people that are overseas and all this still have the ability to, if you're a citizen, you're still able to vote. I mean, you still have that right. You still have that ability. So please make sure that you're exercising your ability. But Jeb was the one that stifled the votes from overseas and from other places and didn't allow for the recount, in which that Al Gore might have won. And if Al Gore would have won, guess what? Life might have been a lot differently right now, or different right now. Definitely one thing that would have been different was our environment and our moves towards solar and getting away from the oil and electric, oil and fossil fuels is what ultimately what he was going towards. So we failed to listen. 16 years later, we're still failing to listen. Hillary's the queen of fracking. She's the one that, I mean, Keystone Pipeline is her baby. So ultimately, any of the Republicans are going to do the exact same thing that any of the other ones have always done. They're going to allow any of this stuff to go on unregulated, unfettered. They're going to just have deregulation. We're going to just see America further degrade. You're going to see 80% of all the wealth in America is owned by 1%. Knowing that there's that much wealth inequality, how can we vote for anybody that's not addressing the issue? How can we vote for anyone that's not talking about it? How can we vote for anyone that hasn't realized that, hey, you know what? There's no trickle down. All it is there's nothing coming down. You have all the money stayed at the top. So we need to make these changes. Jeb Bush is obviously the worst candidate, but Hillary is Jeb Bush. Hillary is a George Bush. The Clintons are worth more than Dick Cheney and George Bush put together. That's what you need to realize, and they don't come from any industry or anything else. That's all from, being public servants. Amazing. I want some of that public servant money if it comes like that, Anyway, we got to vote for Bernie. We got to caucus for Bernie. Nevada, we're coming up. We got to show. Let's get out there. Let's make sure that we know exactly what we're doing at the caucus. Let's make sure we're speaking well for Bernie. Let's make sure that we have our talking points down. Let's make sure that we have something rehearsed, something that we feel comfortable with, and something that depicts how and why we're in this movement and why Bernie is the guy that we all should be voting for, because we all have our own stories. We just got to let everyone know. I promise you have a story. If you had someone that passed away or someone else that you know of that could have used health care or could have used any number of things, people with education issues, any of that stuff. All of these things are what we're fighting for. So let's continue on, and I appreciate you checking out the videos and all that.